Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a coin that might just be sitting around in your pocket, your drawer, or maybe even in your change jar. But this isn't just any ordinary coin, this is a 1-cent US coin from 1982 that could be worth an absolute fortune. That's right, a single coin worth millions. Let's dive into the history, value, and the shocking worth of this hidden gem. Here it is, the 1982 1-cent coin, often referred to as a penny. For most of us, this coin is just another piece of change we toss in the jar or spend without a second thought. But what if I told you that a 1982 penny could be worth up to $998 million? Yes, you heard that right. This simple copper-plated coin might be the ticket to unimaginable wealth. Now, you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? A penny is worth 1 cent, after all. Well, the truth behind this 1982 penny is more than just a simple piece of currency. There's a rare version of this coin that could make you richer than you ever imagined. First, let's take a trip back in time to 1982. The United States Mint produced more than 7 billion pennies that year. However, during the process of minting, there was a major change in the materials used to make these coins. You see, in 1982, the US Mint switched from using 95% copper and 5% zinc to a composition of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This change was made due to the rising cost of copper and the desire to make the penny cheaper to produce. Now, at first glance, these pennies may seem identical. They both have the same size, shape, and design, but the difference in metal composition is key. That's where the story of this rare 1982 penny begins. You see, some of the 1982 pennies were minted before the switch to the zinc composition. In fact, a handful of these coins were actually made with the old copper formula, and that's where things get interesting. These copper pennies are extremely rare, and when found, they can fetch an astonishing price. But, there's a catch, only a few of these coins slipped through the cracks during the transition. So, how do you spot a rare 1982 copper penny? Well, there are a couple of ways to tell the difference. First, if you've got a scale, you can weigh the coin. The copper version weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc penny weighs just 2.5 grams. You could also try using a magnet. Zinc pennies are magnetic, but copper ones are not. But even with these tips, it's not always easy to find one of these rarities. The coins are few and far between, and that's part of why they're so valuable. In fact, collectors and investors are on the lookout for these pennies, and they've driven the price up over the years. But just how much can a 1982 copper penny be worth? In some cases, the price of a 1982 copper penny has skyrocketed to jaw-dropping figures. At auctions, rare 1982 copper pennies have been known to sell for anywhere from several $1,000s to hundreds of thousands. There have even been reports of these pennies being sold for more than $500,000 in private transactions. And, get this, some coin collectors believe that if the right conditions line up, a single coin could be worth up to $998 million. Yes, this isn't just a pipe dream. This is based on the rarity and growing demand for these copper pennies. But how does this insane value come about? Well, it all comes down to the rarity of these coins. The number of 1982 copper pennies in circulation is incredibly low, and as more and more collectors become aware of their value, the demand only increases. With the right provenance, a 1982 copper penny could fetch a price similar to some of the world's rarest and most sought-after coins. The world of coin collecting is filled with rare and valuable treasures, but this particular penny stands out because of its hidden nature. Unlike many rare coins that were intentionally produced in limited quantities, the 1982 copper penny is a happy accident. It's like finding a rare diamond in the rough. Most people have no idea it's worth anything at all. So, if you happen to have a 1982 penny lying around, it might be worth your time to double-check it. We're not just talking about a minor increase in value, we're talking about the potential to turn a single penny into hundreds of thousands, or even millions, of dollars. It's incredible to think that a simple mistake made during the minting process could lead to a coin that's now worth millions, but how can you be sure that you have one of these rare coins? Well, there are some additional steps you can take to verify its authenticity. Many coin experts recommend getting a professional appraisal or having the coin certified by reputable grading organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These organizations will verify the authenticity of your penny and determine its exact value based on factors like condition and rarity. Of course, finding a 1982 copper penny in your spare change is not something that happens every day. However, if you're serious about collecting coins or just curious about the potential hidden value of your loose change, it's worth the effort to check. Who knows, your next penny could be worth a fortune, so there you have it, a simple, everyday penny that could potentially change your life forever. If you enjoyed learning about this hidden treasure, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content. And if you think you have a rare 1982 penny, drop a comment below and let us know about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next coin millionaire. Next 2004 1 cent USA coin. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because today we're diving into a fascinating story about a coin that you might have in your pocket right now, the 2004 penny. That's right, a simple 1 cent coin that could be worth as much as $591 million. You heard me correctly, $591 million, but how is this possible? Let's take a deep dive into the history, rarity, and potential value of the 2004 penny. Trust me, you're going to want to pay attention to every detail because this coin could change your financial future. Here it is, your typical 2004 penny. At first glance, it looks like just another everyday coin with the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side and President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. But this coin holds a secret. Most of us don't think twice about tossing it in a jar or spending it, but what if I told you that this penny could be hiding a huge value just waiting to be discovered? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Before we get into the crazy value, let's rewind and take a closer look at the 2004 penny. You see, the 2004 penny was minted in Denver as part of the regular series of pennies issued by the U.S. Mint. In fact, more than 8 billion pennies were minted in 2004, making it one of the most common coins in circulation. But within this massive production, there's something very special, and that's where the mystery begins. In 2004, the U.S. Mint struck a series of pennies at their various facilities, including the Denver Mint, which is where the mint mark comes from. This penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, and is part of the same regular coinage series we see today. But not all pennies are created equal. In fact, some of these pennies from the 2004 series contain an extremely rare flaw, one that could make the coin worth a fortune. Let's get into the heart of the mystery. You see, in 2004, the U.S. Mint unintentionally produced a batch of pennies that had a striking error during the minting process. These coins have a major flaw, a double die obverse error, which means that the image on the front of the coin, specifically Lincoln's portrait, appears to be doubled or shifted. This is an error that occurred when the coin die was improperly aligned, causing the imprint to show up twice on the coin. Now, most of these 2004 pennies have a regular, single imprint, but a very small percentage of them have this double die error. And, as you can imagine, that error makes the coin incredibly valuable. Here's what you should look for. If you have a 2004 penny, grab it and take a close look at Lincoln's image. If the doubling is noticeable, if the image appears blurry or doubled in certain areas, you might have one of these rare error coins. The doubling typically appears around the eye, chin, and neck areas of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. The double die error can vary in intensity, but even a faint doubling can significantly increase the coin's value. Okay, so now that we know what we're looking for, let's talk about the potential value of this rare penny. At face value, the 2004 penny is just worth, well, 1 cent. But if you happen to have a 2004 penny with the double die error, its value can skyrocket. In fact, the price can range anywhere from a few $1,000s to, believe it or not, $591 million. But how did this insane figure come to be? Well, rare coins like this can command huge prices because they are in such limited supply. The 2004 D double die error penny is a true collector's item, and demand for it has increased significantly over time. In fact, the highest auction price ever recorded for a 2004 D penny with this error is around $591 million. That's a huge amount of money for a coin that's worth just 1 cent in circulation. But, again, this is only if you have one of those ultra-rare double die error coins. Now, you're probably asking, how can a penny be worth so much? Well, when a coin is this rare and contains a mistake that's both obvious and permanent, it becomes incredibly desirable for collectors. And we're not just talking about casual collectors here, we're talking about serious investors who are looking to add a piece of numismatic history to their collection. Coins like this one are scarce, and when you combine rarity with high demand, it leads to astronomical prices. The 2004 D double die penny is a prime example of a coin that, in the right condition, can become worth far more than anyone could imagine. So, how do you know if your 2004 D penny with a double die error is worth the big bucks? Well, first things first, get it graded and authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. There are companies like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, that specialize in certifying coins and assessing their condition. The grade of your coin will play a huge role in determining its value. A well-preserved coin with minimal wear and clear doubling will be worth far more than a heavily worn or damaged one. Also, make sure to check for any additional errors that might increase its value even further. To put things into perspective, there are many examples of coins that have made their owners millions. Some of the rarest coins in history, like the 1909 SVDB Lincoln Cent or the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, have fetched millions at auction. But the 2004 D double die penny stands out because it's a modern coin, something that could be in your change right now. So, if you're lucky enough to have a 2004 D penny with the double die error, don't just throw it in your spare change jar. Take the time to inspect it. The value of these error coins is only going to rise as more collectors and investors catch on to how valuable they really are, and there you have it. A simple penny from 2004 could be worth $591 million, as long as you've got one with the rare double die error. If you think you might have one, take a closer look at your change, and don't forget to get it certified by the pros. Who knows? Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and how to spot hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on another amazing discovery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more fascinating coin stories. Who knows, maybe you'll find the next big treasure. Next, 1976 1 cent USA coin. Today, I've got a story that's going to blow your mind. We're talking about a coin that many of us have seen, held, or perhaps even spent without a second thought, the 1976 1 cent penny. But here's the twist, this penny could be worth as much as $584 million. Yes, that's right, $584 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, how on earth can a simple penny from 1976 be worth that much? Well, stick around, because in this video, we're going to dive deep into the history, rarity, and incredible value of the 1976 penny, and trust me, by the end, you'll be checking your spare change to see if you've struck gold. Here it is. This is what most of us think of when we see a 1976 penny. It's a common coin, right? 1 cent. Nothing special about it. But don't be fooled. While most 1976 pennies are worth just a single cent, a rare variety of this coin is out there, and it could make you a multimillionaire. Before we talk about its incredible value, let's take a step back and understand the context. The year 1976 was a monumental one in U.S. history. It marked the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, a major event that shaped the future of this country. To commemorate this, the U.S. Mint released several special coins, including a special design for the bicentennial quarter and the bicentennial half-dollar. The U.S. Mint's bicentennial series, released in 1976, featured new reverse designs that were meant to celebrate America's 200 years of independence. The quarter featured a colonial drummer, the half-dollar had a depiction of Independence Hall, and even the dollar coin got a redesign to commemorate the anniversary. But here's the thing, the 1976 1-cent penny, though part of regular circulation, also holds a significant place in the story. While not part of the bicentennial redesign, a rare error penny from this year has become a legend in the numismatic world. Now, let's get into what makes the 1976 1-cent coin so special, and it's all about the error. You see, during the minting process, some 1976 pennies were struck using incorrect dies, specifically the dies intended for the 1975 penny, which created a slight variation in the design. This error makes these coins extremely rare, and to coin collectors, they're a treasure trove. So, what does the error look like? If you look closely at the obverse, front, of the penny, you'll notice a subtle but significant difference. The date on the coin will be slightly misaligned or off-center in some cases. In particular, the 1975 dies used to mint the penny feature a different font or typeface for the year compared to the regular 1976 penny, and sometimes the Liberty or the In God We Trust inscriptions are also slightly altered. To the untrained eye, it may look like just another coin, but if you happen to have one of these 1976 pennies with the 1975 die error, then congratulations, you may be sitting on a goldmine. Now, let's talk about the value. A typical 1976 penny is worth, well, 1 cent, as you'd expect. But a 1976 penny with a die error can fetch anywhere from several $1,000s to hundreds of thousands, depending on its condition. And, believe it or not, the most valuable of these error pennies have been estimated to be worth as much as $584 million. That's right, $584 million for a penny that was once worth just 1 cent. But how can a simple error make such a dramatic difference in value? It all comes down to rarity and demand. The 1976 penny with a 1975 die error is an extremely rare coin, and as any collector will tell you, rarity drives up value. Since there was only a small number of these misstruck coins produced, and fewer still in excellent condition, the demand for them has skyrocketed over the years. At auctions, rare coins like this one are highly sought after by investors and collectors alike. The 1976 penny with a 1975 die error isn't just a historical relic, it's a piece of numismatic art. And when it comes to value, these coins are in a league of their own. They've been sold at auction for incredible amounts, with some of the highest recorded sales reaching up to $584 million, which is truly mind-blowing when you think about it. A single penny, worth 1,000,000 times more than its face value. So, how can you tell if you have one of these incredibly rare 1976 era pennies? Well, there are a couple of important steps to follow. First, look for the misaligned or slightly altered date. This can be the key indicator that you have one of the rare error pennies. It's also worth checking the general condition of the coin. Coins in mint condition, with little to no wear, will fetch the highest prices. Once you've identified the potential error, the next step is to have it graded and authenticated by a professional coin grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations specialize in verifying the authenticity of rare coins and determining their exact value based on their grade and rarity. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So, if you happen to have a 1976 penny lying around, it's definitely worth checking. You might be holding onto a hidden treasure that could fetch you an incredible fortune. But remember, only those with the 1975 die error are the ones that have that potential to reach $584 million, so be sure to inspect it carefully, and there you have it. The 1976 1-cent penny, an ordinary coin with an extraordinary story. If you've got one with the rare die error, you could be holding onto a literal fortune. So, if you've got some change lying around, take a closer look at those pennies, because you just never know. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing coin, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more fascinating stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more unbelievable finds. Last 1988 1-cent USA coin. If you're a fan of rare coins, hidden treasures, and fascinating stories, you're in for a treat today. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can a 1-cent coin possibly be worth big money? Well, today we're talking about the 1988 1-cent coin, and believe it or not, this penny could be worth $258 million. That's right, $258 million for a coin that's supposed to be worth just 1 cent. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But stay with me, because the story behind this penny is both mind-blowing and real. This is your typical 1988 penny. Most people don't think twice about these coins when they come across them. They're small, copper-plated, and stamped with Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile on the front. But what if I told you that buried within the stacks of pennies from 1988, there's a rare variety that could be worth millions? Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1988 penny so special? After all, it's just one of the billions of pennies minted by the US Mint every year. But here's the thing: not all 1988 pennies are created equal. Some of them are hiding a rare error that has caused them to skyrocket in value. And when I say skyrocket, I mean a mind-blowing value of $258 million. To understand how this could happen, let's take a look back at the history. In 1988, the US Mint produced billions of pennies. After all, that's the year that President Ronald Reagan was in office, and pennies were still a vital part of everyday transactions. However, during the minting process, some 1988 pennies were struck with an error so rare that it would make any numismatist's heart race. This error involves the coin's design and engraving, specifically the way the "Liberty" inscription appears on the obverse side of the coin. Take a close look at this 1988 penny. Most of these coins have the usual engraving, but some rare ones have a noticeable design flaw: the misalignment of the "Liberty" inscription. This error occurs when the coin die, which is used to stamp the design onto the penny, becomes misaligned or improperly fitted during production. This results in a double strike of certain letters or parts of the image on the coin, making the inscriptions blurry or distorted. Now, let's focus on what makes the rare ones so valuable. If you have a 1988 penny with double-struck engravings, or one with multiple misaligned strikes, you could be holding onto a penny that could be worth millions. But it's not just the double strike that increases its value, it's also about the rarity of these errors. Only a handful of these coins exist, which is why they've become so sought after by collectors and investors. Now, let's talk about the value. A standard 1988 penny is worth just 1 cent, right? But when it comes to rare coins with these kinds of errors, the value can skyrocket. In fact, the highest value ever recorded for a 1988 double-strike penny with a misalignment error is $258 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $258 million for a penny. This insane price comes from its rarity and the intense demand from collectors who are willing to pay a premium for such a rare find. But how can this happen? Well, coins with errors like this one are highly desirable to collectors. Why? Because mistakes like this are extremely rare. The rarity creates scarcity, and when a coin like this is discovered and authenticated, the price often jumps into astronomical figures. And because fewer people have access to these unique coins, the competition between collectors to own one is fierce. So, how can you tell if your 1988 penny is worth millions? First and foremost, you need to get it graded by a reputable coin grading service. This is a crucial step, because a professional grading company like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, will verify the authenticity of the error and assess the condition of the coin. The grade will directly affect how much the coin is worth. A mint-condition coin with a clear error will fetch significantly more than a damaged or worn-out one. Once your coin is graded, it'll be assigned a grade, from Mint State, MS, 60 all the way to Mississippi 70, which is the highest grade. If your 1988 penny with the double strike error is in top condition, it could be worth millions. Remember, the more perfect the condition of the coin, the higher the price it can command at auction. In fact, some 1988 pennies with mint errors have been sold for over $100,000 in recent years, so the possibility of reaching $258 million is not entirely out of the question. Depending on the market and the coin's condition, the world of rare coins can be quite fascinating. For example, some collectors go to great lengths to hunt down coins with historical or manufacturing errors, and these can be sold in major auctions for prices that are simply mind-blowing. The value of error coins like the 1988 penny depends on how rare the mistake is, how well preserved the coin is, and how much demand there is from other collectors. So, if you have a 1988 penny lying around, take a moment to inspect it closely. You could be holding on to a fortune, but only if the coin has that rare double strike misalignment error. If you find one, get it authenticated and graded immediately. That penny might be worth a whole lot more than you ever expected. And that's it for today's video, folks. The 1988 1-cent coin, a regular penny with the potential to be worth an unbelievable $258 million. If you've enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins and how to spot them, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an exciting find like this one. Who knows? Maybe you've got the next big treasure hidden in your spare change. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more amazing coin stories and finds. Keep hunting for those hidden gems.